Tracy, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Hello. Welcome to BlockDown. It's just been an awesome event, and again, I'm just thrilled to be here. My name is Tracy Hutson, as I was so politely introduced, and I'm going to take a few minutes today to talk to you about a 3D platform that we're rolling out in beta called Verse, and the virtual universe, and it's in particular, its application for e-commerce, which is an area we call Shop Verse. Next slide. Before we begin, even though I was, again, so politely introduced, I'd like to give you a little of my background. I'm an interior designer, as well as being involved 10 seasons on Extreme Makeover. It was an amazing experience. I also was fortunate enough to be on a show, Picker Sisters, on Lifetime. It was also aired on History Channel. Some short form content on the Design Network, and I have a show on Facebook right now, Hollywood DIY, just to name a couple things. And I still have my design business here in Los Angeles. Next slide. We are all participating in one of the most important conferences in one of the most important industries imaginable. We, the mixed reality and blockchain industry, are one of the ways to make this lockdown livable, both socially and economically. Crazy times we're all living in. Next slide. I'm going to show you how Verse can help both brands and consumers continue to engage in a meaningful and useful way, even through the traditional shopping experience, even though it's forever changed. I mean, who are we kidding? I miss shopping. Next slide. Retail sales have been decimated by the impact of COVID. My specialty, furniture, for example, has seen a 60% downturn. Fashion, 40% overall. Retail has seen 20% drop in sales since the pandemic has hit. Next slide. Now, some of this is due to the obvious drop in demand resulting from consumers not being able to physically go out and browse for products, but the stats can be misleading. Certain markets have seen growth, such as home improvement projects, home fitness. We're all trying to keep fit, and even cookware are some of the verticals that are seeing spikes, which makes sense given the new consumer behaviors that we're seeing out there. And the reality is that even during a downturn, those customers with money are looking for ways to shop wisely. And this is an opportunity that businesses must exploit to survive. The current climate could simply be accelerating a trend that was already underway. For sure. Next slide. vMarket Inc., the company behind Verse app, which I'm a partner and brand ambassador for, is premised on this basis. Our team, who, by the way, you can interact with at our BlockDown booth, has been developing hardware and software solutions to the problem of envisioning how products would look online before customers take delivery of the real-life goods. Based on that competence, we're proud to pull the curtain back on the pre-beta release to share. This is why we choose to launch here at BlockDown. This 3D experience is the very proof of concept we wish to demonstrate about virtual showrooms. I mean, we're preaching to the choir. Clearly, we all want this. Next slide. Verseware, which is vMarket's background in the space, comes from hardware business. Before developing the software platform, Verse and Shopverse, which I have been involved in co-founding, the company started by developing stereoscopic 3D mobile devices, also known as glasses-free 3D. I've got them here right now attached to my phone. They're super cool. They deliver different image to each eye, generating the same effect you get when you're watching a 3D movie in the theater, except without the glasses. We have recently launched Verseware, a specialized line of 3D smartphones that utilize this technology to allow users to observe 3D assets in more detail than a traditional 2D screen. Think of them as the equivalent of a jeweler's glass, except for 3D models and content. Super cool. Next slide. Now, you don't need Verseware to experience Verse. Our virtual platform, Verse, is available for all Android devices today, and it will soon be available on both Apple and PC. But users who want an enhanced experience or who are using the platform commercially can really benefit leveraging 3D technology today. It's really impressive, and we invite you to reach out to us to experience it for yourself. Next slide. Now, in the age of lockdown, or even prior to lockdown, it's not exactly easy or even possible to get in front of our representatives physically to show you what I'm talking about. Not only is this a problem that Verse has been solving since before quarantine, and one that BlockDown shares with its 3D solution, it's the premise upon which Verse was built: to remove physical and geographical barriers and facilitate community and commerce. To celebrate this mission, we want to send you a special gift so you can really get a sense of what we are so excited about. If any of you and who are viewing our presentation online go to our website at verse.com, VIRSE.com, and scroll down and click request download, we will add you and private beta and send you one of these, a 3D viewer called VR Easy that works with any smartphone and can allow you to experience 3D that we're reading about. Go to verse.com and request your download and free VR Easy. We will ship them for free. And again, you don't need the 3D viewer to use Verse once you've downloaded it. And it's just a really cool gift to have on hand. And it might take a few days to get to you. Who are we kidding? Can't really trust the mail. Next slide. Now, I've mentioned the lockdown and how we can't easily get in front of our prospects to demonstrate them our products. But that problem doesn't just apply to us. There are literally millions of businesses that are experiencing hardships from the backlash of COVID. Now, the usefulness of technology that I'm about to give you a glimpse into today has been amplified 10 or 100 times or even more. We really believe it should be adopted by merchants urgently. Now's the time. Shopverse is a platform using virtualization technology called Verse to stimulate the physical shopping experience virtually. We utilize 3D models of goods that we call versions, as well as virtual showrooms or storefronts that we call Verse shops, to allow merchants and consumers to engage in an immersive and effective way. It's really this whole experience. And if you represent a brand or a business that needs to increase your online conversation, or you're a vendor or agency that's involved in 3D technology or assets and can partner with us and help us achieve our vision, or financially, if you are a blockchain investor, I can't help but stress how it's so important, more important than ever, to reach out to us and visit our site, come and chat with us at BlockDown at our booth. We'd really love to talk to you at this really early stage. Next slide. Versions, the first part of Shopverse, is a unique element that we call versions. Versions are blockchain-backed virtual versions of real-life goods and services that merchants use to represent their offerings within Verse. Think of them as digital samples of a product that prospects can interact with to aid in the purchase decision-making process. On screen here, we are showing you a sampling of the real-life physical goods that are tongue-tied. They're presented the typical way that are presented on e-commerce sites, with photos and description, and in some cases even a video. But Shopverse allows merchants to literally add an additional dimension to allow customers to make a more confident buying decision, a 3-dimensional version. Next slide. The product to be seen in 360 degrees on a 3-axis, X, Y, and Z, being able to see it from all angles versus the present angles available only by photos. By manipulating the object on screen, users report a greater sense for the feel and familiarity, even if virtually. And this is why the company is so bullish on 3D and VR-capable hardware like Verseware. Customers and merchants can activate stereoscopic 3D mode and see these versions literally dimensionalized in front of their eyes, almost like a hologram. This allows for a closer inspection of the version to be even more confident of what they are buying. There's more to Verse's concept of versions than just the 3D model of a product. We tokenize each version to give them even more value than just an artistic asset when used in conjunction with our ecosystem. Next slide. Now, the Verse shops. The second part of the Shopverse formula is the showroom. This is so cool. Not only can a prospect browse and play with versions virtually, they are truly captured in a 3D environment branded by the merch. But Verse also utilizes technology most commonly deployed in the video game industry to facilitate engagement between merchant and the customer, such as chat and merchandising to recreate the shopping and sales experience in a 3D world. And with such a high level of immersion and engagement, closing rates soar, particularly for high ticket items where the human aspect and sales expertise of the merchant kick in. Just look at the BlockDown Expo booths and the business being done in them. They are virtual showrooms in and of themselves, which is exactly what we're all here talking about. Next slide. We are all seeing first steps as the world reopens in phases. What if we can replicate that experience for grown-ups the way kids play Fortnite or even Roblox? Now, if you're a parent like me, then I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when your kids ask for V-Bucks or Robux, but that behavior can be replicated for other branded goods, not just the virtual goods and video games. And we've created a seamless system to immerse prospective customers and move them through the sales cycle, from introduction and icebreaking to qualifying, presenting, overcoming objections, leading to asking for the sale, and even, well, more often than not, closing that sale. Next slide. And what if the merchant could virtually outfit the client's home or wardrobe or any other case so the customer is super satisfied before they hit the checkout button? We believe it will skyrocket sales and make abandoned carts obsolete. And well, ladies and gentlemen, since the biggest part of Shopverse is Verse, the virtual universe, customers can create a sandbox representing their lives that we can call a station. This can allow them to take versions out of the showroom and into their envisioned lives. They can try before they buy like never before, and merchants can have unprecedented access to aspects that will allow you to satisfy them. Next slide. Now, Shopverse and Verse are revolutionary and so needed in this world right now. And we are inviting industries to join forces with us, not only because it's mutually profitable, but to truly serve others and give hope in such a time of hardship that we're all in. And that feeling of satisfaction in its own is a reward. And I feel like the Verse platform is much more than just a business. It's a transformative technology, which is really why I'm here. Next slide. Again, please request your download and free VR viewer from verse.com or from our booth here at BlockDown. I really look forward to seeing you all there.